What is up, beautiful people? This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Auto Skin Detail. Give them a follow on Instagram, like a couple pictures, show them some love. Let's go. Yo, I'm just happy to be here. What is up, beautiful people of the world? My name is Exact Change. I'm here with my homie Imperfect Cody.
Yeah.
And today we're happy to be here with our guest, Daniel Godffiti Lopez.
What's up?
Dude, some people call him God, but he does not endorse that name. He says, hey, listen.
Put the feety on there.
Put the feety. Where did you get your name, man? Like, was that something you've always had, or somebody give that to you?
In my head, I was thinking, I was almost sure that the handle would be grabbed, you know what I mean, already on Instagram, just because it seems so easy. It was like God's graffiti.
Yeah.
Like, if God was painting, like, walls and stuff, what would he do? You know what I mean?
Genius.
And it seemed like, I was like, man, it almost goes with graffiti. It just seems like someone had to have done it.
Yeah.
And nobody had done it.
You were like,
I was like, I'm getting that quick. I really.
Dude. So when was that? How long ago? Like, how long have you had that name?
That was, I think, around 2015.
Wow.
2015.
Early Instagram.
Nice.
Yeah. And
remember when the Instagrams had the borders around you put the borders around every picture and the really bad filter.
oh yeah,
Bad
you're talking
filter.
way.
Yeah.
I remember you wouldn't put a photo out without a filter ever.
Yeah.
It was just like slide that over a couple
they
times.
had us abusing those things. They had these weird, like, red tints over our faces and shit.
We didn't know why we were doing
And
it.
you know that when you're scrolling through someone's Instagram and you start getting into that territory.
We're getting old.
Yeah,
We're
you
getting
start
into
seeing-
15. Oh yeah, we're getting into
People
14.
have archived those. They're like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
no.
Yeah.
But is like, have you've been obviously, I'm sure, doing art way before 2015.
Yeah, I drew a little bit in elementary school. It was pretty dormant. I didn't do much through middle school until 8th grade. And then they threw me in an art class, and it was like I just had it. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, wow, I could do this. I wasn't good at nothing. You know what I mean? So I was like, wow, I could do this. And then right into high school, I was in art class, and I met already had some friends that were like graffiti artists.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the first time I seen those black books open, I never seen nothing like that. Just the letters and the colors and the background. I was like, this art's for me. You know what I mean? At the time as a kid, like, I connected to that.
Mm-hmm.
Just these books, it was like so different than plants and like still lifes, which I actually appreciate now that I'm older.
Yeah.
But like at that time, I didn't get that. You know what I mean? I needed something that was like stimulated my senses.
Something that was cool, man.
Dude, and it was really cool, and I loved it, and I picked up on it really quick.
So, and that was just sketching in a book.
Yeah, everybody, we would all just pass our black books around and stuff, and like you get your homie's black book and do like a 2-pager and all these colors and characters.
Sick.
Yeah, and then you get another one, and it's like you flip through it, and there's just someone else's like 2-pager. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was, and you pick up off their characters and all that stuff.
So that'd be a
their
little
letters.
inspiration right there to kind of kickstart your next creation.
Yeah.
That's cool. Feeding off the friends, dude. I feel like that's big in all art, but kind of different in 8th grade, I'm sure, when you're just, I mean, the thing with school is it just gives you the opportunity to be just sitting there just sketching or writing or whatever you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember like in class, they would have to take all my stuff away from me because I would never do any work. I would just be drawing, you know what I mean? And they'd be like, have to take my stuff from me.
You're like, come on, give me the tension, bro. Give me the tension. I'll be there.
And a few of my teachers, like, they would use it for my own benefit. They would use, you know what I mean? They would like utilize my art for the class.
Of course.
So
Really?
that I would like be more involved, because my mind, I wasn't super studious, but the art stuff I could do all day.
And that's just because, and I really think that all in like school, there's every single kid learns different. So those
Mhm.
good teachers were able to find
Yep.
that thing that you love and be
Yep.
able to kind of work that into the class.
Yeah.
And that made you want to be there.
Yeah, exactly.
See, that's dope.
And I passed those classes with flying B's and C's.
Flying C's, baby.
I was serious, I passed them.
They
You
made
know
a
what I mean?
deal with you. We'll give you a C.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
And the hard ass teachers never won, dude. They just were like, "I don't, well, you gonna flunk this class?" You're like,
Yeah.
"Fuck it, we're flunking then."
Yeah, we'll
Like,
catch up with you in 20 years. You
it
know
was,
what I mean?
it was never like a good,
Yeah,
result when they're trying to stifle what you how you truly learn.
yeah. Well, this was Southern California, and the high schools, there was 2 of them, and they were just so big. You know what I mean? Everybody was being shipped in from everywhere. The schools were just so big.
What was it like going to school down there, dude?
I was like a social butterfly. Like I would go, like I would kick it with all the homies from like my neighborhood, and I'd go over to like the nerds and like the artists, and I would just go everywhere throughout. You know what I mean? And I just love kicking it
Just
with
friends with everybody.
With everybody, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful, man.
It
Especially
is.
being an artist with what I did. Especially like in the neighborhood I grew up in, I got a lot of respect for being an artist, just for being good.
Cool.
You know what I mean? It was really kind of cool because we didn't have much else. You know what I mean? It was just like low level kind of poverty stuff.
Mhm.
So like being an artist, I didn't feel super special, but it was valued.
So were
Mhm.
you like tagging stuff in the neighborhood or?
Yeah, I was hanging out with at first I was hanging out with a bunch of taggers and stuff,
Mhm.
and we were there was a couple different groups, and one of them they were like more like piecers, and they were the art side of it.
Mm.
And they lived in a couple different communities, but we'd all come and meet up at school. And then the ones that were like more from my neighborhood were the taggers.
Mm. Just hit
Yeah.
whatever. Like,
Yeah, just more like
yeah.
tags and throw ups. And we all started using heroin at 14.
Really?
Whoa.
All of us, a big group of us. And so
Wow.
we were like smoking it, and in about a year later, everybody was just strung out.
So what like introduced that into a 14-year-old's life out in Cali? Was it just like one wave or?
My whole neighborhood was kind of ghetto, and so there's a lot of crack. Not really like meth, but heroin at the time. This is like the 80s and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And heroin was just like, this is Southern California. A lot of Mexicans in that type of area, and we were smoking it on weed first. And somebody told us it was opium.
Mm-hmm.
Like O is what we called it, and we didn't think it's heroin. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And so year later, we're already strung out, and then everybody start at that point. You either have to choose between the weed or the heroin, and you're strung out, so you're gonna like choose the heroin, and everybody starts banging dope at that time, and things just got like really serious.
Mm-hmm.
I eventually dropped out of high school. I was like way backed up on Saturday schools.
Really?
Just from ditching, and like
Damn.
there was no hope of catching up at that point. And so I'm like, I'm just gone. And then they tried to put me in a continuation school, but I still couldn't go to that. I would just get dropped off and then leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know?
Like mentally, you were checked out. You were done.
Yeah, I didn't see
Yeah.
no point in it at that.
And this is
time.
14.
Well, that was from 14 to like the end of my high school year, right
Okay.
up in that whole
17.
area. It was just escalating.
And then, so what were you kind of doing when you weren't at school? Was it just all art? It was just
When I
go.
was ditching and stuff,
Yeah.
getting high, dude. I was going.
So once
down.
once you started getting high, it became
It was a whole,
came
it was
parallel
not-
with
yeah,
art.
like it was not. No, it was. There was no art
No
there.
art.
Oh,
Okay.
whoa.
It slowly started to die. By the time I was like 20,
Mhm.
till I came up here,
Mhm.
it was all dormant because
Wow.
of my drug addiction.
Yeah. What brought you up here?
My grandma had raised me, and she adopted me, and then my two sisters were. This was at a really young age. My two sisters were put into adoption, and my aunt in North Bend adopted. They were passed around for a while, but they ended up in North Bend.
Mm-hmm.
And then my oldest sister, 16, ran away to Yakima, and she lived there and she eventually like had kids and stuff. And then so fast forward to 2013, my grandma passed away, and I was kind of doing all right, and I went back to my old hood. And my mom's like using on the streets and stuff, and I was using with her.
We're down in California.
And we were staying at like my cousin Thumper. He had like a trap house, and we were staying there getting high. And I was like doing really, really, really bad, dude. Like I was banging a lot of dope. It was not pretty. And my sister up here in Yakima was like, just come up here. She's like, you ain't got nothing down there.
Yeah.
And my mom was even like, because my mom we were like using together. Even my mom, she's like, you gotta just get out of here. You know what I mean? Because there was nothing on the avenue anymore for me. And all my generation, like cousins and stuff, everybody tried to leave. Everybody just trying to get out of there.
Yeah.
Once you get to the age where you're old enough to like make a decision, you know,
that cool.
Trying to get out, and do something. And so my family just kind of dispersed from the area, but there's still a few people down there. But I came up here 2013 to live with my sister.
That separation is crazy. What's it like to be, like when you're in those kind of situations, when you're on drugs and stuff like that, are you mentally able to kind of be like, man, I need to get out of this. I need to, find a way. Or are you just kind of like, fuck it. Like, this is just what I'm doing.
Yeah, there wasn't, we don't grow up in my neighborhood with like opportunities. Like you don't see people doing stuff good with their lives.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see nobody going to college. There's no vacations. Like vacations, like,
wow.
You know what I mean? Like a walk down the street to the beach or something. Like there's nobody going to college. Ain't nobody have careers.
Nobody going trips to
no
Hawaii.
Examples
and shit.
like that. No, definitely not. There's no success.
Damn.
So you just think that's life. You don't question it. There's no other thing. What else are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Like
it's so wild how it's such a paradise, in just Southern California like that. Like you said, a walk to the beach.
Yeah.
You're down there in this like almost exotic place, but in like a terrible neighborhood where you're not seeing success, but you're on the beach.
Oh yeah,
like
totally.
next to the beach.
I mean, it just has that like for us from in Spokane, we think of it and we're just like, dang, it must be, but it just doesn't think there'd be a hood right there on the beach like that.
I know.
We have a really big it's called Surfers Point right there in Ventura, California, and that's like really big where all the surfers are at, and that's right at the end of the avenue.
Oh, okay, so it's right there.
Yeah, it's beautiful, man. It's really beautiful.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
And then there's like a big mile-long pier. Everybody goes fishing. And it's like the avenue's in this little canyon. And then once you get to the end of the canyon is this beach. And then there's like the coast. Beautiful.
God damn.
Nice. I got to get down there.
I've never been down there. I've never been to California before. I really want to go. So, from your transition to moving up here, you said it was your sister that was in Yakima, right? And would she give you a place to stay when you came up here? Or?
I was staying with, she has kids, and I was staying with her, and she was with some guy, and it just wasn't working for me. You know what I mean? Like, what am I going to do? I'm an adult, and it just was not working, and I was getting so bad that I was actually either going to commit suicide or do something. It was getting serious, dude. And mental health didn't even know it. Nobody knew what to do with me. And I remember I called, I was called up to the drug program. So I had actually, when I was like 22 or something, I was in North Bend trying to get cleaned up, and I went into a drug program over there on the west side for like 2 days and left. So that's who I thought I was calling. And it was actually Spokane that answered. And they're like, brother, we got you. Get over here. If you can get over here.
And you were like, Spokane?
Yeah, I was. Dude, I hopped on the Greyhound, and I was like, I remember the first day I just stepped out. I was like, am I, like, type of thing. I didn't know a soul, no family or nothing. I went into that program.
So there was like a will for you to want to fucking change.
I didn't know what it entailed. There was something. It was either that or, and it just God opened the door for me, dude. Is what happened. He was like, "I'm gonna save you." Like, this was the way that I was supposed to go.
Yeah.
And I was like, my mind was so far gone. They didn't think I was gonna make it. Like I was a continual.
Like when you were in the program?
Yeah, because I was coming off of like years of psych meds, like a 10-year run of heroin and pills and stuff, and my mind was so far gone that the staff there didn't think I was gonna make it.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like they didn't. But I remember going to the hospital at about 6 months clean and sober, because I wanted to get a blood test. I wanted to hear, like, you're messed up. You ain't gonna, you're all messed up. But they gave me the blood test. They're like, it's just gonna take a couple. They're like, it's gonna take a couple years for you to level out. You're perfectly fine. And my mind was like, I was like pretty crazy, you know, at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it did, like, not only emotionally, mentally, spiritually. It took from 10 years of just, dude, I was grinding, dude, into the ground, dude, with my drug addiction. And it did take a long time for me to, like, you know, to get my bearings straight.
How many years would you say?
Well, I was using from 14 to 31.
Wow.
Whoa. No,
Yeah.
but I mean, how many years to reset to feel?
I would say a good 2 years, and then even further, like 4 years,
Wow.
before, like, I started getting what life was. Because this was actually, imagine the shock of this little hood, this
Mhm.
bubble, to a city,
Yeah.
where, like, I'm also starting to, like, to paint murals at this time. So I'm getting a little bit of success. I never had nothing. I never had no attention or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Just that little bit of kind of respect when you were a younger kid for being talented,
Mm,
but nothing like something that would be successful.
definitely not.
So, I'm curious as to when you felt that success. Did it kind of make you feel like, okay, did it almost make you, or did you have that urge to, or were you more like, were you fueled by the success to say, I'm gonna continue going upward and onward?
To use and stuff.
Yeah.
No, I was completely set free. Like
I love that.
Like this is going on almost 9 years. Like
That's sick.
just free from it, man.
That's so
like
cool.
my life, there's no going back that way.
Mm-hmm.
That's
it's
really cool.
only going forward. And but it was really tough, dude, because I didn't have like normal support like you would think. I was getting a little bit of success here and there, which was really confusing, because I would have people tell me how great I am, but I have a heck of lonely life. I didn't get it. It was like not clicking.
Didn't feel
No
great.
family here in Spokane at all. You're doing this all by yourself.
Yeah. Well, I've had friends and
Yeah.
people along the way, but
Mhm.
it's just me up here. I don't have like family,
Wow.
like brothers and sisters or nothing up here.
It's a really cool story, man. It's really cool
Dude, that's
that
wild.
you triumphed from that, and you know that you are who you are today, and it's cool.
Have you always been religious, or like when did that door open for you?
I was my eyes were really open when I was set free from my addiction, because I had tried doctors, mental health, tried everything, methadone clinics, like anything and everything to change my life, and nothing would work. Like going to jail, everything, man, nothing. And then all of a sudden I'm just free.
Mm.
You know what I mean? All of a sudden, like, I'm not an addict no more.
And so, like,
It's a miracle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. God, like, he set me free from it, so I don't have to worry about it anymore, and I can move forward. And also, plus the odds were they were against me. Like, with not having a ton of support, like, some of my family's still really messed up. Like, my mom's still on the streets. They're just, especially, and then being like a Hispanic, guy in Spokane, all tattooed. I have to work extra hard
Damn right.
to make it. Like the odds were all against me, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So have you, like, I guess what I want to know is, like, were you religious at all, like, when you were younger?
Not really.
And
I
then-
wasn't. I had little tastes of, like, I remember like a youth group. They were, because my whole like where I grew up was really messed up. But I remember a youth group. They would come pick me up, and after like middle school on a Wednesday, and I'd go hang out with them and stuff. But that was about it.
So that was kind of a trip about just being around those the people that weren't from your neighborhood that were kind of doing better things in the youth group, kind of get yourself out of the neighborhood. That's cool, man. And then it was, so when, like, did the program that you went into up here, like, was there religion in that?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was a part of it?
It was like a faith-based program, yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
And I think one thing is like the renewing of my mind. Like I had to replace a lot of stuff with like God's word. You know what I mean? Like a lot of bad stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just a lifetime of like messed up stuff had to be replaced with like truth and hope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like good stuff.
And they kind of like
Real.
walk you through like that. That's like kind of the, like, implementing the replacement of those thoughts and stuff, or was that something you had to do on your own?
I would say they teach you how to learn on your own. You know what I mean?
Give you the tools.
Yeah, and that's a big thing. And then that also carries into my art. Like you know, heard my past. I don't have a degree.
Yeah.
I've taught it. Like I taught a mural painting class at Gonzaga. I got Spokane Artist of the Year. I own a business. I'm serious.
No, I know
Yeah,
it.
I own a business,
blows me
like
away.
a legit business,
That's sick.
and like all this stuff.
That goes to show, like, anybody that you can stumble along the way as long as you keep your eyes and ears and, you know, your senses open for a change. You know, that's so awesome to hear.
When you had to seek out the change too, I think that was something that you could have kept just fucking doing whatever forever, or until the end,
For sure.
you know. And you had a will to change. That's just really remarkable, man. And it's just cool that faith was something that was able to really connect, and I see it in your art, obviously. You know, which is cool to get the depth of the story behind like these murals that I love.
Yeah.
What was the first mural that you did in Spokane?
Actually, did you see the mural that I'm restoring right now off Northwest Boulevard by the Baskin Robbins?
So that's not the one?
Oh, okay.
It
It's right
was
by
an
Zips, no?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
I did that. Well, actually, I did another mural, but that was my first paying mural. It was all brown toned.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
talking about
some
the old
browns.
Boulevard Mercantile building.
The one that you just posted.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
So to trip on this, because I worked for that lady, the owner of that building, and this was 2015.
Uh-huh.
My first big pay, first time I ever got I got paid some good money, and then I had my show, and guess who showed up? It was the lady, and she's like a grandma, she's like an older lady,
Mm-hmm.
and she genuinely cares for me, like she loves me. You know what I mean? She told me when I finished the project the first time, she's like, if you ever need anything, and you know, some people just say that. I know she really meant it. I never like took her up on it, but I know. And then she showed up at the show, and we talked, and it was really good to see her. And then she reached out via email, and now I'm restoring it, bringing all that color. Like, to be honest, I've been driving past that thing every morning. From 2000, like, for years, and I had not liked it because I'm so much better.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for the opportunity, but I like waiting to get paid and do it.
Yeah, because if there's probably times where you're thinking, I'm just gonna go do it.
Oh, dude, I would love. There's a few of them, man.
Yeah,
Really?
but you're like, I gotta get paid to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's a lot of work. There's a lot of planning involved in murals, design stuff, and then scheduling of my time to go work on something. And supplies are expensive, so there's a lot of things that go into them. They're not necessarily something like that I could just jump into. Like, I'm doing other stuff too.
Yeah.
And so there definitely is a lot of planning and getting it going. And I was really happy to get to it. And I had all these ideas and threw them out there, and she loved them. So it's all colorful now.
So like,
Obviously.
I'm trying to think, like, you know, when you get hired for your first mural, like, kind of how did the word get out? How did people find out? Like, oh, this guy does murals.
Okay,
Like,
so I went into the Spokane Arts. Are you familiar with them?
Is that the place over off of like Maple? But I think I know. Oh, okay. No, I know what you're talking about.
They're in the Wells Fargo building right now.
Yep.
With the Visit Spokane.
Yep. I know what you're talking about. Yep.
At the time, there was, shout out Ellen Picken. I love you so much. You were the dopest chick ever. And she helped me so much get ahead at the beginning, the start of it all, dude. I love Ellen. She's just a super cool person, great artist too. So at the time, I had like done another mural, and I walked in there with like a sketchbook. I didn't know paintings. My Instagram wasn't popping, nothing.
yeah.
And I was like, I did this. She's like, okay, want to do a mural? I'm like, yeah. And she literally hands me a little piece of paper with a name and a number. And she told me the location, and it was the Boulevard Mercantile. So I call this lady, and I went back and forth with her on some design stuff for a little bit. And finally she agreed to it. And that was the first, I was in the Spokane Review. That was the first time.
Wow.
There was that one.
On that first mural.
Yeah.
Did you
That's
do
so
Did you
dope.
do the birds underneath on Altamont?
That was my first city job.
Oh my God, that's so cool! I remember seeing you doing those birds.
So that's the city of Spokane hired you to do that?
Yeah. So at this time, this was 2017. So
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, 2015, 2017. At that time, the Spokane Arts, they do like a run for artists. Like you can apply for jobs. They'll show you. They have like the location. You design stuff. And there was 11 applicants. I was one of them. They picked the top 3, and then they interview us. So I don't know who the other people were. They interview us all separately, and I went in there, and this is like, I've been painting murals a little bit. I know my stuff. I can do big stuff. You know what I mean? I'm confident. And I went in there and talked about my mural, and then this is from downtown. I was so nervous. I walked from downtown all the way up to the north side to my place.
Just thinking and like letting.
Yeah, I was like.
And this is after your interview?
Yeah.
So you're just tripping, just thinking, well, it's like a job. This is a job interview.
You're like, this is for the
dude,
city.
It was crazy. Yeah,
That's
and
cool.
They were gonna pay me like a good chunk of change. Like a whole underpass, dude. Like they're gonna give me a whole wall and my design.
Like where you came from.
Yeah.
To only be in 2017, this has to just be anxiety city.
It was crazy. Yeah, I was like so excited, and then they called me, and I was in my apartment, dude, and I like had a moment, dude. I was like, dang.
Yeah,
dude.
you broke down. I'm sure.
I'm like, dang, man, I can't believe I got this job, right? And so I got it. It took 2 months for the Washington State Department of Transportation to approve it, and for the city to approve the design.
Wow.
So a lot of signatures, and just, so within that 2 months, I'm waiting for it to start, kind of holding my breath.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I didn't even have a vehicle at this time. So I'm holding my breath, and I'm like waiting, I'm putting other jobs to the side, kind of starving.
That's kind of what I was going to ask too. Was you kind of like broke at that time?
I was dependent on my jobs. And
job.
Yeah. So if I hold off thinking this thing's going to start soon, I remember one night I'm sitting at the bus stop going to go get groceries. And I'm like, you know what? Screw this, dude. After this project, I'm not painting no more murals. I'm going to get a 9 to 5. I'm going to bag groceries. I'm going to get something stable. Like, I'm tired of this struggle life. And I'm still sitting there, and I'm like, you know what? Like, I made it, though. I'm making it. Like, I'm like, I'm not going to quit. And I called that later that week in the morning, I called Eastern because I wanted to go talk to the kids about like what it takes. And then later on, I didn't give it through it to anybody. I called Gonzaga art department and was like, I'd painted some murals at this time already, but mercantile, the hands off of at the antique store right here off of Sprague.
Okay, yeah,
Mhm.
yep.
And so I wanted to go talk to him and be like, yo, you can make it if you'll work for it. And I got through to Gonzaga. And then it took like a little while, almost like the part of that year to organize with the teacher, but I ended up going in and doing like presentation kind of workshop with the Gonzaga art classes, and then they painted a mural. So all that discouragement, if you want to succeed, you got to turn those negative moments into something positive, dude. You got to, dude, because your life is gonna be full with negative moments.
No matter what.
You got to turn them into something positive, dude.
So was it pretty easy to get through to Gonzaga and to kind of get them to listen to you and to?
They were all ears.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I was like, I had enough, a little bit of credibility at the time, not a whole bunch, but I mean, they were willing to talk. The art teacher, she's like, yeah. And so I went in and I did a presentation, like a slide, told my story, how I got to where I'm at. The kids, I don't think they ever heard nothing like that.
Yeah.
Like the stuff I'm saying.
Yeah, of course. If you told them that story,
It's real stuff, man.
They're thinking, man, this guy just
You're
got out of
talking
art school. He's here to teach it.
you're talking about Gonzaga kids. Like
Yeah.
they didn't hear that before.
Yeah.
They lived on the others. They were from Cali, but they're
And I'm still like on Instagram following some of them, and
That's so awesome.
I'm rooting for those kids. One of the kids, he was mostly like a basketball player or something. He's like, that was at the end of the whole project. He's like, that was the highlight of my year, dude. Like the mural they painted and
Sick.
stuff. I'm like,
That's
dope,
cool.
man. Like,
Where did they paint it?
at the northeast. It's in Hilliard. They have like a what is it? It's like a resource center right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so they paint.
It's like right in the middle of Hilliard, right there.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, you know what he's talking about?
I don't know the mural, but I know I know the building. We'll have to go see it.
They worked so hard and they did so good, dude.
That's
I'm
cool.
always surprised when I have a class and they just work so. I know how much work it is, and when people pull things off, I'm like, dang, I'm impressed. Like how hard people and how quickly people jump into this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's intimidating, dude. A big, huge.
Yeah.
So intimidating.
Yeah, I can only
It's like,
imagine.
yeah, right.
I can't draw a stick figure, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
And trust me, I'd tried my whole life. Like I was trying to draw. I was like, I love the idea of it, and it was just like, fuck, dude, I suck at this.
Well, just before the pod, we were kind of talking about. I got my hair cut down at Larry's barbershop, and I was looking at the wall down there, and you were talking about how art is just so accepted in the hood,
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that, like, it's all over. From his building, you can see all sorts of stuff you've done, which is cool.
Really?
Yeah, like right, he did. It's all right
Yep.
there,
So, what happened after the city job that had to be kind of like really catapult you into more work after that?
Yeah.
Well, then you making the decision too to not go after the 9 to 5. Your dream almost fucking died right there.
Well, I did the city job, the birds, and that was a month-long project, dude. It was a big project.
Yep.
Even though I could do it,
Mm-hmm.
that it was a big project for one person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my mom actually told me about you. She was
Mhm.
like, "There's this guy who's down there painting, and he has no help." She was like, "I don't know what he's doing," but then later it was just like, "Cody, you should see down there. You should see he's doing birds." It was like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, cause she lives right there.
Yeah,
So that was so cool.
that's awesome. And
Yeah.
the idea behind the birds, the finches and the magpies all flying together.
Yeah.
Was at the time I was real big into like conceptual art where the idea is more important than the image almost.
Mm.
And it was like I felt at the time that I wasn't competing against anybody to get ahead. You know what I mean? And I feel like there's so much room to fly. Like
Yeah.
everybody could fly, man.
Fly together.
And you don't have to knock anybody down or step on nobody.
Mm-hmm.
I know that people don't like in the people, there's competition out there, but at that point, I didn't step on any. I was doing good.
Yeah.
Man. And so like that's kind of what the idea behind those is. Everybody could fly, man.
This is real art, folks. For real. Like
Well,
that's how you come up with that.
So was it like, did they have an idea for what they wanted you to do, or this was all your idea?
The mural call was all open. Like everybody had different designs.
It was just like tags under there.
Yeah. Well,
right?
there was like this. There was like the neighborhood kids had painted.
That's
something.
right. The tiles. They did like that square little thing. Yep, I do remember that. Yep.
Oh, I do remember that.
Yeah, and it was everybody got a tile, and you could like do whatever you wanted in that tile. Some were
guys painted
really
them?
nice. No.
you were kids?
I just remember the kids painting them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I remember driving by and seeing the kids out there painting them. I mean, this was 10, 12 years ago,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yep.
So that's cool.
Yeah, one of the parents rode by on his bike, and he's like, "I love the mural, man, but one of my kids did the thing and stuff." And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
like, sorry, man. You know, it was it's crazy out there too.
Yeah, the
A
neighborhood's
lot of
funny.
interactions when you're on the streets painting. You got public interactions. People are stopping and talking. Not everybody's nice.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
What are they saying?
I'm up there doing a bird, and I look back, and there's a car full of like people, and they're like, paint something, 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 and I'm like, this is my wall, and they're like, no, paint something, 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 and then someone in the back seat says, if you don't, I will. I'm like, I get down from the car, I'm like, this is my wall, homie, and they drive off, like.
Yeah.
I'm like, I get very territorial over my stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, this is like my murals, man. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
one guy though walked up to me and he's got $20. He's like, here's $20, brother. I'm like, oh man, I can't, dude. I was like, I'm getting paid for this. He's like, God bless artists and musicians. And then he puts it in my can of paint and like walks off, or my box of paint and walks off. Just so much interesting
That's fucking
stuff,
cool,
dude.
man.
Yeah,
You're like,
is
bro, I'm
cool.
already being compensated.
God
He's
bless
like-
artists and musicians.
Yeah,
I
I
can
was
already
like-
see what this guy looks like. Yeah, that's cool.
looks like a dude who was an artist or a musician at
Or
one
he
point in
or he
time.
wanted to be.
He's
so
bagging
bad.
groceries now. Like, fucking dude, take a fucking 20, bro, because I
For
could
real.
not do it. dude.
Yeah.
And seriously, I think the craziest thing is that crossroad that you had where you were literally gonna fucking never paint another mural again
Mhm.
in your mind, and you're like, dude, I need some consistency in my life. These bills need to get paid.
Mhm.
Do you know who Christopher Sean Gray is? He's a photographer in town.
Yep.
And he told me, when I was sitting down with him, he told me that, you know, that's how it was. Like, you just never know when you're going to get paid again. You never know if the job is going to come through or when it's going to come through or if you're going to get that next check. And that's the life, you know, of
Yep.
that. And that's the struggle of that. Did you run into like a lot of, like with COVID and stuff like that? Did that affect you?
My COVID was popping, dog. For real, dude. Like, I'm doing paintings. That's my other thing, though, is I'm not a one-trick pony, dude. I do oil paintings. Like, and I think that they've captured people's attention.
Yeah,
They're a lot more genuine and real, and they're like the street art is so public, but I can get a lot more personal. So I was slanging a bunch of paintings. People just started, I think also, you know, Spokane's, you know, so big, and I'm a muralist, so they could finally get their hands on my paintings,
Yeah.
you know.
Just took a little
Something
time.
that's theirs, which I think is big.
But also, it has to be good. Like, it had to be good. Like, I had to do good work, not just paint.
So when did you when did you start doing oil paintings? Was that after you started doing murals? Was this all just an accumulation of?
After, for 2 years, I've been doing oil paintings.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Since 2019.
Yeah, he's not a one-trick pony. He's got a few little cats in his bag. That's cool.
Well, I've been learning, dude. Like, because I've always wanted to oil paint because it's like the top of the top. If you can oil
Yeah.
paint, you can do it, right? And it's so intimidating, though, because you will see these masterpieces, dude, by these like Renaissance, you know, 19th or 15th century painters, which are just gorgeous, and want to think that's what you, in my head, that's what I have to, that's the standard.
Mm-hmm.
It's so intimidating, and I just never did it. I never did it my whole life, and finally, I'm a all in or all out type of person. I will not say yes if I'm not gonna do it, but I won't say yes to everything because of that.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm like, I'm gonna do it. I went and spent a whole bunch on all the supplies. Is sitting there. I'm watching videos. Don't know what to paint. All the pressures on, like, it's got to be as good as, it's got to be good.
Yeah.
And I had all like these like wood panels that I paint on, and I was like, I can't do it. And so I went back to the art store, and I got this oil painting paper, and it's just paper, and I made the ugliest hand ever, dude. And but I got the paint down, and that's what mattered.
Yeah.
And then me and my buddy, we walked around at night taking pictures of kind of shadowy light type high contrast areas.
Okay.
I did a trash can this big. It was over here behind kind of behind the Rocket Bakery towards Brown's Addition.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it sold the next day. Somebody bought it. And then I also did a picture of like it was the outside of the STA bus, and so you could see the people in there, like the lights on.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that. Somebody bought it, and then I spent the whole first year painting as much as I could. Tons of ideas, just tons of stuff. I'm real big on conceptual art. That's where like the idea behind it is, maybe is expressive, but there's an idea that gets you to think.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm also real big on figurative painting, where it's like people, you could tell a whole story. Like if I painted this room,
yeah,
you would automatically know that we're having like a show, right?
Yeah, you'll put people enjoying themselves, and it's like they're
and
having.
You know what's happening.
Yeah.
And I love you tell a whole story by that. And so where was I going with that?
I don't know.
It was just oil paintings,
yeah. And so I just was painting, and I started to allow myself to be influenced. There were people that I was like, as an artist that's kind of learning, you think I need to be like, I'm so special. It needs to be me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started really just enjoying a few people's art. I was like, dang, like I love what they did here, and it's a journey for me. It's been a journey finding out what I want to paint. There's 3 artists that influenced me really big time. One of them is Andrew Barnes. I think he's out of Seattle. He's like this skater guy, and he would do these like paintings of there was like naked crackheads in a laundromat smoking crack. No, and it was so real. I was like,
so tight.
But it looked all elegant. I'm like, dude,
like
I'm
good
like,
lighting. Like,
yeah, I'm like, dude, this is real life stuff. This dude's content is real.
Whoa,
that's cool.
It blew my mind. I was like, it's okay to paint that. I don't have to be so fancy.
Mm-hmm.
Let me paint a crackhead if I need to.
Dude, it was like, this is okay because the artist said so.
Yeah.
And people took it seriously.
Yeah, they sure.
So that was very influential. The second person was Ivan Floro. He's out of Barcelona. And he's like this, he does a lot of like parkour stuff, but he's young, maybe mid to early 20s. And there's this style. You could tell he probably had a little bit of schooling. There's this style like this bravura brush strokes. It's very like, it's just so careless. It's almost like cool.
Really?
Like imagine like a musician, like Mick Jagger, like his clothes are off a little bit, but he did it. Like it's a style he worked on.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't care. And it was like, it's like sexy, dude.
That's sick.
Like
dude.
he's just the paint, but it's done so well that the whole painting just feels cool. You know what I mean? And
yeah, it still tells a story. It's still just like, damn. And it's like he could be doing better things. Like he's just slapping some paint on a canvas for you.
Yeah, but so.
Yeah. We get that in music. You get that in music too, where it's just like, listen to this guy, you know, like
Yeah.
So that's cool. I can relate to that.
Yeah, and see, it goes to it translates, man.
Oh yeah,
Just universal.
yeah. And that was just you explaining it. I could just see what he looked like painting it. You know, that's cool.
There was Ivan, and then another one is Mark Tennant. He's an older artist, and same thing. He would his style's very abstract, but same thing. Just he wouldn't use a lot of shading, but just a lot brushstroke, the right brushstroke in the right place, just placed so perfect. And just these people, they showed me like it was I just loved it. It was something that for some reason I was drawn to, and so I started incorporating that into my art a little bit for a while there. And then it's like, and then I try all kinds of stuff like that. Sometimes there was like cool images I wanted to paint, things I wanted to express, but I didn't want it to be so blunt. I didn't want to express it like, you know, that's what art is. It's like there's an underlying message in a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. And then this is my second year where I'm actually getting into the more technical aspect of painting. You know,
and you're talking like with the oil paintings and stuff?
Mm-hmm, the actual paint itself, like as opposed to the picture I'm painting, but like the paint.
So would you say that you took like a little piece of all three of those artists that you've kind of incorporated into your style now? Mm-hmm. And you've seen it change kind of since you've opened yourself up to those outside, kind of just, you know, being influenced by other people?
Mm-hmm. And I've also... Now I'm letting culture influence me, though. Now I've got other stuff like tattoo culture, like the Hispanic culture. I try to stay away from politics unless it's super genuine. I'm real big on not capitalizing in the moment. If I don't feel it, I don't want to do it just to do it. I really try to... If I'm really feeling it, I'll do it. I've done, like, I know that my American Jesus was really big, but I think the question, because I never told anybody what it meant, so that there was a lot of, talk about that one. And then one of my other biggest ones was this, it was Liberty is Sick, and this was right towards the beginning of the COVID, and it was like the Statue of Liberty in a hospital bed, with like a face mask on and like looking all sick. Like,
is this on a canvas or did you?
Yeah, it was on like a thing.
Cool. I'm realizing you don't create much art that you don't believe you'll get paid for. Does that sound accurate or is that not?
My paintings, no, I don't.
You don't paint unless you think there's going to be a buyer for that.
I don't paint for a buyer.
Oh, you don't paint for a buyer. Okay,
No,
opposite of what I'm thinking. Okay.
For some sort of genuine expression.
I see.
Like I spent this whole past year painting to no end. There was no buyers, no nothing. And then I had that show.
And everything's a lot of things sold.
And it wasn't planned at all. And I just happened to have a bunch of paintings.
Yeah.
So is that what kind of prompted you to do the show? Was like, man, I've been painting all year. I got a bunch of stuff, or...
Some friends. I'm kind of linked up a little bit with some friends with the Wonder Building. I actually went in Rover, the dog walking app.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They were gonna hire me to do something. I went and did a consultation, and this is funny how Spokane works. I'm telling you. So I'm like waiting at the door at the Wonder Building, and this was a while back, and someone lets me in, and it's the owner of the building. They just renovated that whole place, and he's like, "You're not." And this is not the guy from the Rover. He's like, "You're not the guy who did the big Jesus, are you?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh my goodness!" And so Rover did their thing, and then he showed me all around the whole place. So I'm like, "I would love to do some murals in here, dude. I would love it." And I kept bugging, like over probably a year's time. And he has a business partner who lives out of state somewhere. And finally I got to paint a mural in there. I did like this Wonder Bread mural with like this old bread factory. And then they let me paint that astronaut.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the floating astronaut. Because I wanted to paint that, but like they paid me for the other one. And then like They gave me the wall to paint that floating astronaut.
What was that? Do you think that wasn't based on like your ability to paint? Obviously, they knew that you were good, but they just wanted to get you in there to kind of paint something for them, and then before they gave you just like free range, to just be like, let's go.
I think the owner that knew me was already sold, but the other guy had no idea because he wasn't from around. You get what I'm saying?
So dude was like selling you, like,
yeah.
So you're gonna let them do what to our building? Like,
And I paint the mural, and they're like, okay, cool. Like even though,
they're like, go free. So do you think that you found the most fame, I guess you could say, off of the Jesus?
that was a big one. That was a really big one, and I mean, dude, you've seen how big it is, and it's
fucking
in the
huge,
downtown. Bro. And so
what was the idea behind that? Other than like it's just Jesus has no face, or
I'm still not telling nobody to.
Oh.
I haven't told nobody.
I see.
Yeah, I did a little sketch of it originally in the book, and
genius.
What's crazy is I did the little sketch in a book. I put it on social media, and everybody got it. And then I painted it all super large. All of a sudden, it's like, what does it mean? Nobody got it. I'm serious, dude. Like people, when I was the sketch, they're like, genius, amazing, love it, offensive, like all this cool stuff.
You're bringing emotions out of people.
Yeah, they got it. And I was so scared of that little sketch. It didn't even seem that crazy. You know what I mean? I was like so scared of it. I was like, I can't put this out there. Like put it on social media. What are they going to think?
People are going to be it's going to be
they
just
ate it up, good and bad.
They really loved it. And then I had so when I got out of the program, I knocked on the door of that building because I saw that the location up there. And I was like, and this was years prior to me painting. And they didn't even like. I probably sounded crazy, right? I'm like, oh, I want to paint a mural on your building or whatever. And they just kind of they weren't interested. So I moved on. And then years later, 2018, I got a phone call, and a lady was inquiring about. She had somehow heard my name and what I do and stuff. And she was inquiring about getting something painted up there. And I told her, I was like, if you let me paint whatever I want, but pay for the supplies, I'll do it for free. Or, I'll paint. This is kind of how I work for commission jobs. I gave her some numbers. She's like, well, let's see what you do for free. And I had that drawing. I was like, there is no way they're going to let me paint this.
On that.
Yeah, like that big, right?
Yeah, that huge.
And I sent I sent an email out with almost no hype to it or nothing, just a picture. And the pastor, I guess from what I heard, is they printed it out or something, and then it like went and floated somewhere off the table, and he looked at it and could see like the image, like it wasn't blurred,
Yeah.
And then he looked at it and was like, because you see all the little squares and stuff.
Yeah.
And he was like blown away, dude. They were like, oh, and they called me. They're like, we're gonna do it, and I was like, oh my goodness, dude, I'm about to paint this huge like censored Jesus in that. It was scary for me.
And then you just already, it was kind of a trip, I bet, when you had already been there to try to get a mural up there, and now you're seeing it all come full circle.
Dude.
Like,
She tells you the address,
later.
you're just like, no fucking way.
what is that building?
Years later. That's another like Christian like rehab.
Oh,
It's
really?
a different one.
So that's like a connection piece for you, like a special.
It's meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Oh, definitely.
That's God right there. Bringing that all.
Dude, everything, yeah. And then I don't have it's not set in stone, but I was just recently painting, and I've the mural I'm working on, and then the owner of this King of Glory wall
Yeah.
approached me. He's like, yeah, just very casually. He's like, so I don't know if that's going to happen, but I would love to restore that into full glory, like,
Dude,
all new, like my style.
that would be
Cool.
Sick.
because that that is a fucking mural that definitely, you know, has always kind of caught my eye. You're on the freeway, you know, headed to Seattle or something, you know, you see that fucker, dude. And yeah, that's pretty epic. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I've had my eye on that wall for.
I want to see that in HD.
So you just see these walls just going, like when you're like out and about, you're just like, that wall could use a mural.
Oh yeah, big time.
And it's like not every big wall needs one, but it's like the ones in the right spot are just like, hit it up.
I wish I could get to them.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I really do.
And you do this all so a lot. It's all word of mouth. Like, you know, Godffiti doesn't have a fucking agent or anything out here that's like getting them fucking wall paintings. Like, you're out here knocking on people's doors and people are calling you like, dude, I seen your work.
People reaching out to me, especially. I know that as soon as I paint a mural, it gets the ball rolling. People get interested again.
Yeah.
And especially my skills are improving, so it's like it's appealing.
You did the one in obviously in because dude, Garland is just an area that has a lot of really cool art, and what they've done there has just been really cool. And that you got an astronaut. Was that blue one? The blue mural behind the drinkery or something like that?
It's not.
No, that's on Northwest Boulevard, right?
Okay.
The Easy ET.
Yeah, no.
Did that one, yeah.
But that big fucker right behind.
It's in the alley.
I did a rap video to it.
Yeah.
Right behind.
Oh, the big TV.
The big TV.
Yes,
That's what it is.
yes,
That's what it is.
You know how I caught wind of you was there's in West Central, there's like a different mural with like couple graffiti. It's off of Broadway. There's like a bird on a shovel with like.
Yes.
So Zemek showed me like a picture of. He's like, he's like showed me you took a selfie in front of it. I was like, dope, okay. And then and that's the first time I like saw who you were.
Really?
Yeah. So
I've
that
known
was years ago, dude.
Really?
Yeah, long time ago.
Zemek, dude.
I've known Zemek since I was a kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Since I was a kid, he grew up in the same neighborhood as me.
And it's really crazy too about him because he's just
Zemek.
He's one of them.
Unblock me, yo.
For real?
Why is he blocking you?
Unblock me. Hurt my feelings, dog.
He's a fucking wild man, bro. And
he is a wild man.
And dude, you don't fucking, you know, he's Wilson from fucking Home Improvement,
we were
bro.
really close, dude. When I first came into town, I linked up with Zemek for the YFC on Ash. Remember that big long wall? From like.
Oh, you talking about the skate park? No.
The Youth for Christ building. If you're coming down Ash, right before you get to like. It starts to turn under the freeway. There was that big, colorful.
Yes,
oh,
dude,
yeah.
So I got that job, and I linked up with Zemek.
It's like Eyes or something?
Not that one. There was one up a little bit further on the side of a community center type.
Okay.
The Youth for Christ building.
Yep.
And I linked up with Zemek, and that dude helped with all the writing, and that dude partnered up with me and was just there through the whole project. And our ADD, like... vibes, it's like energy, you know.
Yeah.
Vibe, and me and that dude were like really close for a while.
Yeah.
Damn.
But that ADD can also be a double-edged sword, you know, to get things in the way. So
have you been? Do you get? Are you still getting tattooed at all?
Yeah, if I can.
Yeah. Is there anybody that you go to specifically?
I try to collect stuff, man.
Really,
yeah. Like that dude. I don't know if you've seen. I'm really good friends with most of the people at Anchored Art. I painted their lobby. I don't know if you saw it's like the Rat Pack, like Sammy Davis Jr.
Oh, yep.
I did, and they all have tattoos.
You did that?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
I
I did that.
I did not know.
I did that.
Yeah, that one is fucking crazy, dude. That one's great.
And Jeremy Corn's a real good friend. He's a super cool dude. Just all those
guys just do crazy work too.
cool.
So a lot of guys at Anchored Art, you've multiple artists you've had do some work on you, or
Kyle Carpino did my big panther back here, and then from Rage City, I love traditional stuff. Nori had done my side over here. That was a while back. I've gotten a bunch of them just from all over.
When'd you get your first tattoo?
My first, so that was actually my first after dropping out of high school. I was in juvenile drug court at the time. taking a mural painting class.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
And I was in AA, NA, and stuff. I was trying to clean up at the time. At like 19, and the teacher was a muralist. No wait, that sounded all mixed up. Okay, I was in NA and AA, and the teacher at the mural painting class was like in NA and AA too, and she linked me up with like a job at a tattoo shop painting a mural. And they were like, okay, this dude's dope, man. You want to do an apprenticeship? I was like, yeah, dude, let's do this. I'm 19 years old. Like, I'm going to work at a tattoo shop, right?
So you're going to learn how to tattoo?
Yeah, and I apprenticed for like 7 months, and and I was just getting a few tattoos here and there.
So you've tattooed people before?
Yeah.
That's sick.
The way you looked back on it, like, yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Someone listening to this hopefully will just be like, bro, send in
That
your
God-
fucking
yeah,
your
that
fucking
Godffiti
vintage
tattoo.
Godffiti tats, bro.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
No.
Don't send it. Keep it on your body. Cover it.
Yeah, if I could pay this man some money, he'll touch him up for you.
Well, when people they come to me and they ask if I do like stuff like that, I tell them most of the time, if you go to a tattoo shop, you tell them that's what they do. You tell them your ideas and stuff. They will do that for you. You don't need me.
I can see you saying that.
You know what I mean? Because like really, like they're not gonna be like going in with my stuff. Like it's just better because the artist that's tattooing on you, you want them to like come up with their stuff. You know what I mean? It's not. And so I know how all that stuff works. It's like you wouldn't come to me for stuff that I don't paint.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, you're looking for you want that individual style of that artist. That's the reason why you're going to that artist. So that way they can put their style in it and stuff like that. So I totally get that. Man, that's cool, man, because the murals and the oil painting, the tattoos, all that stuff all goes together. It's a whole culture, man. Is there a lot of other muralists here in Spokane that you know of?
I think people are trying to break into it. I know that there are some other artists that are doing projects here and there. Reynaldo, I don't know if you've seen him. He's he's a teacher at Gonzaga now, and he's done a few murals here and there. I really dig his style, almost like compliments. He does these big prints, like these woodcut prints. Have you seen those? And then there's also, remember I was talking about Ellen Picken?
Yeah.
She's a muralist, so she moved on from the Spokane arts to pursue videography and mural painting, and she's traveled all over, dude. Like, she's worked for Google.
Really?
Yeah, and she's local. She's pretty spendy, pricey, but she's dope, and she puts a lot of work into it. She's worth it, dude.
Good for her. And then you said that she was just a fundamental part of you becoming, doing what you're doing here.
I was so busy when the Ultima Underpass project, I wasn't even going to do it. Like, I was so busy and just tired and swamped, and it's like just me. And she's like, no, you got to do it. You got to do it. I'm like, and she ended up like helping, filling out all the stuff for me and downloading all the pictures and everything. And I was like, and then I got the thing. She's like, see, I told you. Like, so she pulled out some stops for me. Like,
there's no telling how long that stuff is going to be there either. Like, sometimes it's, was that part of the contract? Did they tell you how long it was going to stay on the wall?
They're going to be rebuilding that freeway. So around 10 years from when I did it.
Yep.
They're going to be rebuilding that freeway, so they'll be tearing it down.
Yeah, the north-south freeway was going to interchange right there. Yeah, that's cool.
Wow.
Well, you'll get an opportunity, it sounds like, from the city again if you keep doing what you're doing, because everyone notices those birds,
Yeah, you got to be inspiring people out here. There's got to be people that are painting that are kind of like, oh, man, I don't think I could ever make this something, and kind of see what you're doing. And
I
really,
hope.
Yeah, I think the art show was probably a big step, too, for people to come down to something free. and there was quite a bit of people there, man, and that was really cool because at that point I only knew you as a muralist. And Instagram is such a great medium to find people and to really like turn it from wow, I admire this person's work to wow, I'm sitting here on a couch talking to him on a podcast right now,
Right.
and connecting to your work and knowing and being able to just tag you and shit and other people see it and that just being able to share it around like that. It's just yeah, I'm sure that you're really getting people going and getting them inspired, man, which is really cool.
I'm trying. I really hope that people, especially artists, are inspired to learn, dude. Like, I think that's like a big thing is people are so eager to express themselves with no skill.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
I
mean?
want to
And
skip
it's like,
steps.
It becomes frustrating. to
oh,
'em.
dude, and it's like there's so much stuff out there. How do you filter like the genuine good stuff? Like it's hard. Like it all gets drowned out. So like you have to stand out. Like I'm trying to stand out with my art. If you think back in those mid-century times, that they weren't trying to like, you think Rembrandt wasn't trying to stand out amongst all these other artists, dude?
Oh, yeah.
They were like, how do I, you know what I mean? How do I stand out? And so I've been trying to do that, and I hate to like, I've been resisting the niche
Mm-hmm.
because I love the freedom of doing so much, but it's slowly getting narrowed down,
Ah,
and I'm happy with it because it's helping me. Hopefully, it'll be so refined that it will stand out.
It'll be just undeniably your art.
exactly.
Yeah.
You'll be able to drive by and say, "Boom, there it is. That's his."
And I've been trying to get my murals. I really like this. I've been turning those Renaissance images into like giving them tattoos
Yeah,
and stuff,
yeah.
and
Can-
like
yeah, it's cool.
and
It's
I
like the Rat Pack dudes too, type shit.
Uh-huh.
Like
That's cool.
kind of giving it your own spin on it.
Yeah, so make it cool. You know what I mean? Art should be cool.
Yeah.
I see some, like, you got like this contemporary art that's like so boring, dude, and it's really bad, and it's like a line on a canvas or something, and when people go into these galleries and see this stuff and they've never experienced art before and they just like feel dumb, and somebody's like, you see it, like you see it, like it's a painting, you see it.
You mean like a line on a
No, it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's like,
just literally
you
a,
know the stuff that I'm talking about.
yeah,
Those,
yeah,
like,
abstract
it's
or
like it's not good, dude.
Yeah.
It's not like if that's people's experience, like we want people to love art.
Yeah.
And so trying to make stuff that people can connect to has been real big for me. Like maybe that's the street artist in me, but like the trends and the tattoos and like logos and just stuff that people are familiar with, so that normal people aren't afraid to approach art, because it can seem so drab and it's boring, dude. You know what I mean? Like you have to learn to like art.
yeah.
You have to like invest, and it's a wonderful journey though, dude. It's like it just gets better and better the more you start to like art.
I could see
I
that.
think you stand out more than you think that you do. You gotta just a style that just, I think catches a lot of people's eyes, man. And that's just been you doing your thing for years, man. And I'm surprised that it hasn't been longer since you've been here. I mean, you've done so much in such a small amount of time. And I'm assuming that you don't have a job. Like, this is what you do. This is
Yeah, the murals are my job.
that
dude.
is fucking amazing,
And
man.
they fund like all my paintings, all that stuff.
So it comes in a lot of different ways. We were talking about like the disconnection that you got to have sometimes, with the pizza on the couch and the kind of like doing nothing, when you're an artist and you're spending a lot of time, your brain is being engulfed with these ideas and plans and stuff like that. How often do you have to just reset and just turn the phone off and just not, you know what I mean? Or do you do that?
It's tough, because like this is like my busy season. So this is one of the first times where I've scheduled out so much stuff that it's like that I'm booked, and so that all those in between times I have time to chill. I don't. There's like for the first like 5 or 6 years I had to take everything. I was doing every job I could.
Yeah.
Taking everything, saying yes to everything, wearing myself out, trying to work, and like it just seems so stupid to pass stuff up. And now I'm at a really good place where I've got scheduled projects that are.
And you
pretty
felt like
big.
all that work that you put in was necessary?
Yeah, it was necessary so that I could relax. I earned my time to relax.
Because no matter what you're doing in the beginning, I feel like you have to just go hard. To get your respect and to get to get it all out there and to refine it. Wow, man.
People want to see somebody's that serious. You know what I mean? Like if you're just doing like half-ass jobs, it's not impressive.
Yeah.
So was it tough to start to say no to murals and stuff like that? Was it tough to get that that conversation with yourself saying like, okay, I've got stuff I could do. I can turn down a few things. Was it tough to get to that transition?
It took a lot of work to get up to that point.
Yeah.
I turn stuff down. I try to pass the jobs on to people. If I don't like, I'll be like, oh, but so-and-so you might want to reach out to. If I don't want the job, some stuff I don't want to do. Some stuff I'll do, because it pays good.
And they're just like, hey, would you do it for this? And you're like, yeah, I'd do it for that.
I quote, so like I usually have consultations that people pay for my time. So if I go like arrange to sit down with you, like for half an hour to an hour and dream with you and like look at your stuff, I need the compensation. And then even if the project doesn't go through, I was still paid for my time.
Yeah.
And so
you know your worth, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, I do that.
Like I'm realizing you know your worth.
And then I have a minimum that I tell everybody, this is my minimum to get me up to a wall. And up, and at the consultation point, I get like a day or two to kind of give them a rough quote on a project. And from that point, if they want to go ahead, I charge for design work. Like I'll give them a quote. Okay, let's work on the designs. And then I've had, quite a few situations where I've gone back and forth so much. So now I have a design limit. You get 2 modifications. I try to hit the nail on the head the very first time. Tell me what you want. Let's talk ideas. Like, I want to work on something good. I don't want to milk the design project. I want to get to the actual project.
Yeah.
But I only allow 2 modifications. That way, I don't spend a month and a half going back and forth when I could be doing other stuff.
Yeah.
And people are usually, they're pretty cool with that, You
just got to set those boundaries, That's cool.
And it's only through trial and error I've learned that. Because if the few times I don't set the boundaries, or I don't set the money for the consultation and stuff, it's like pulling teeth trying to set up a time. Like it's almost like I'm setting up time with them. You know what I mean? Not them. It's crazy, dude. So I gotta remember that I want to be chill about it. I really do.
Yeah.
But people don't respect when you try to be chill. They don't respect that you're like got a life and you got your own stuff. So gotta lay it out there.
That's a big piece that everybody can apply to everything they do. Is that right there? Is that when you're super chill about it and you don't put your foot down and set the expectation, people will take advantage of you
every time.
Every time. So it's just fucking nuts, dude. This whole story is blowing me away, dude, because just from your, being on drugs and kind of just being all over the place to like being able to nail this down and manage this stuff as a business. Like where did you kind of get the business sense to do this? Was that all trial and error? Did you have mentors?
Lots of mistakes, dude. Lots of mistakes. Being disrespected, like all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, man, it's my own fault. You know what I mean? It's my own fault for these things going awry. So I have to figure this out so this stuff doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And that way also, like, people want that. Believe it or not. They want, like, the boundaries. You know what I mean? It actually is, especially in the business world, it's clearer for the people to deal with.
Mhm.
It's not, but here's the big thing is, as an artist, I'm an emotional being. Like, I like feel things deeply and stuff. And so to have this cut and dry is, you don't have to, I figure you don't have to like something to do it. You know, I don't have to like the business side to do it. I just do it.
Yeah, you just figured it out, and you're just like, this is what I have to do, and that's not the creative side of you. This is just what has to be done.
Yeah, and unfortunately, you know, it works great, though. It works pretty good. Especially most people I deal with are in business anyway.
So they already understand.
Yeah.
They respect that. Yeah. Do you like, where does like a lot of inspiration come from? Do you listen to like music when you're painting, or kind of coming up with ideas?
My inspiration comes from so many different places. It could be something I'm going through in my life.
That kind of like makes you want to paint a certain something.
I've got a few paintings in mind. I did one where I'm like in this chair and I'm like almost naked, but I'm surrounded by these wolves.
Dude, I saw that one at your art show.
Yeah,
I think, right?
And
you had
that
that
is
one
about the business world.
Because you're just here vulnerable.
Yeah, like kind of, but not afraid, but I know the wolves are around me. You know what I mean? So I was going through some stuff at that time where, like, I'm very aware these wolves are here, but I'm just chilling. Like, I know I'm not blind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like kind of in my own way expressing the fact that I know that these wolves are around me.
Yeah. Wow.
And then another one was the monster painting that people bring up a lot. This is the one where I'm like touching the mirror, and the image in the mirror is like blue, like a monster.
I think I have seen that one.
And
That
then
one was hanging up too, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it's really small. And so these are kind of how I find inspiration. Sometimes it's things that I'm going through in life. And the monster one, I was dealing with some business stuff where I kind of was getting played, and how do you say it? I can be super cut and dry business. Like, we could just do that, super cut and dry. Don't make it personal. Don't pretend you're my friend to play me.
Yeah.
And we could do it that way. But I felt like I was deceived, like they were trying to use be my friend and like use my nature against me.
Yeah.
And it really hurt me, dude. Like, to the point where I was getting ugly inside.
Like you said, you feel very deeply.
Yeah, I was feeling like, dude, like you like deceived, dude. Like like you weren't
Used.
really my friend. Yeah. And I'm like, and once I kind of saw it, like I was getting really angry. Like, I'm like, gonna hurt this dude. Like a couple different ways, like planning in my head, like, and I was like, whoa, like, I gotta reel this in, dude. Like, this ain't. I can't live like this.
You gotta
This
let that shit
monster,
go.
dude. This monster was inside of me, and I had to really look in the mirror and reflect, and like,
Oh shit!
so
And that's where that came from.
yeah. So that, and then what's crazy is, so many people are afraid. We think we're the only ones with flaws, and that we're like, if anybody knew, we would be like weak, and we think that, dude, but we're not.
I felt that. I've felt that on so many levels.
Yeah, we're not. And people message me out of that. One person, he's like, bro, that painting spot on. I'm like, if you don't mind, can I ask you what you saw? And he said that he was going through some stuff, and he's like, I just saw a man who desperately, who was battling his own demons and was in desperate need for, he like nailed it so to the point. I don't want to get too into his message, but like he was going through the same thing exactly. And it's like, that's what I love about art, is like I can be genuine and other people need that.
Mm-hmm.
Like they need that genuine. They need that art, dude. You know what I mean?
It's so crazy how art and, you know, music and art both, like those things are so, you know, people need them. People need them to express themselves, to find out, oh wow, someone else is also going through this the same thing that I'm feeling.
And they're self-explanatory. Like you don't have to explain a song. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You get it. You know, like that's what a piece of art is. You don't have to explain it. You just get it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Until you blow it up and put it on the fucking side of the building, and then people are like, "What the fuck, man? What does this mean?"
I
Could be anything.
I didn't realize the pixelated face actually shows something different other than like it being pixelated. But now I completely understand now that you said that.
Yep.
If you move away from it, you'll see the face.
What?
That's what he told us earlier. He snuck it in because he was saying that the guy who originally saw it, it fell off the printer and he saw the face.
Like at a distance.
At a
like
distance.
The
so
the squares are like all.
Yeah,
on the
we
right.
can't see the picture because it's so large right in front of us. But if we were to back way up, we'd see it.
What a trip, dude.
I know. That's what makes it so layered. And as soon as
Well,
he said that, I was like, that's fucking
For
genius.
somebody like me, like us, as just like, you know, we got these little brains right here. We're trying to fucking use.
for real.
And like when I see some shit, like, you know, you had it like on a fucking piece of paper, and now it's fucking on. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
iconic. Is up there. That's a piece of Spokane history now.
Yep.
That's fucking crazy.
People
man.
know it as like, yeah.
That's
like,
bigger than music, in my opinion. In the sense of something being like a part of the city.
yeah.
Like a real part of the city. You're going to drive by
Yep.
and you're not going to have a choice. You're going to see that and it's going to affect you.
Yeah.
Write a song, you have to really play it. Maybe you were listening to the radio. Nobody really does that anymore.
Yep.
I mean, this is like, it's there. And it can make you feel some type of way when you just go into work.
Yep.
Or
You're getting
something
the
like
dude
that.
who did the Jesus. Oh, that's crazy. Like people, they know. Like it's the guy who did the Jesus
That's
mural.
all, yeah,
the
that's all
guy
I
who
have to
did.
say to people. They're like, "Oh, you do?" I'm like, "Yeah, you seen the beat?" Oh, they're like, "Oh,
Yeah, their eyebrows go
yeah,
up.
they got it."
What did what was up with the Easy ET? I feel like that's a very iconic one too. Was that your idea, or was that because is that on the side of a tattoo shop?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Was that them? They wanted that exact thing?
No,
or?
they just let me paint that. I did like sometimes people will let me paint like my stuff. You know what I mean? And it's usually the cooler stuff.
Yeah, because they're like, you got the imagination, you got the vision.
Yeah, and
People won't tag over your stuff.
I've been really fortunate. I'm in with a lot of painters and stuff,
I
and
see.
so like they have been so welcoming to me because I do spray paint. I use spray paint, and like
Yeah.
they've been really cool to me, dude. And you can't really write nothing without everybody knowing what it is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You'll be like, why'd you tag my shit?
Yeah, like it's a Spokane. It's pretty small.
Yeah.
But I really haven't had much.
So were you
Much.
like, where does the fucking Easy ET come through in your brain? Were you just like, it was just like, hey, put something up here, and you're just like, dude, what's up?
Well, somebody actually did an Easy ET before, but it was like a ET guy with the Easy E hat, and it was like because I was looking to see if there was like the same image already done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, but when I had done, because that thing was a drawing first too, so it was like hit the Easy ET hashtag, and it showed like an ET with like a hat and glasses.
And this is just like on Instagram?
yeah.
And this isn't in Spokane.
No, this was like it was a drawing a long time ago.
Okay.
And I just did that one. It was
Sick.
I just like how it's just no big deal. I just fucking did that. To me, I'm like, dude, that's like when you're in Spokane, like people fucking think that Spokane is just this really, really, really boring place. I feel, you know what I mean? Like there's nothing going on, especially if you're from Seattle. You're like, oh, there's nothing going on in Spokane. And then you come over here.
There's some shit going on.
There's some shit going on, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, the art that you're doing. How many murals do you have up right now? Do you even know? Have you lost count?
at least 30.
Holy shit.
Stuff tucked away inside of businesses and stuff, public ones.
Oh, that's right. There's a lot that are inside too.
There's quite a few.
because I think that I'm just thinking in my head like I want to now like go on like a fucking Godffiti scavenger hunt
There you go.
on my Instagram or something and go through and just try to fucking find as many of them as I can.
That's cool.
30, man, that's beautiful, dude. I know we didn't really touch on it exactly when I said something, but like music, does it go hand in hand with what you do? Like, would you listen to a lot of music?
I love music.
Like, you listen to all genres, or like what do you I know a lot of people are just like, oh, I listen to everything.
Lately I've been into like 80s synthwave type of stuff, dude. Yeah, dude, like even like The Cure, and there's a few musicians, they're these kind of indie rock guys. One of them, he was in town at the Bartlett.
Yep.
David Ramirez, and it's kind of like this indie rock kind of stuff.
Okay.
But what's interesting about that is when I first moved up here, music pulls me through, dude. I could go on about music, dude. There's a song, Prayed for Rain, that I just love. It pulled me through all of last year, dude.
Really?
Nice.
It helped me through all of last year. I listened to that song so much.
Who's that by?
Paul Cowthan. It's like he was just talking about like, you pray for like change, like kind of in a drought type of season and wanting rain, but like it floods. So just being content.
Yeah.
So music, but David Ramirez was one of my first big musicians that I fell in love with, because it was when I first moved up here, there was a song called How Do You Get 'Em Back, right? And I remember I left California, dude, and it was like, dude, it was heart-wrenching for me, dude. Anybody, imagine leaving by yourself. Everybody and everything you ever knew to move somewhere, and you're never coming back, okay? You might talk to people, but you're never coming back.
Yeah.
Because I haven't been back to California. There's nothing down there for me. So it was so, like, it was unreal. Like, it was not only I was coming off of the drugs in a new city. I didn't know where my life was gonna go. So I didn't know, dude. It was like I was just painting murals, like making it through the day.
Would you even guess, like when you were on that trip, that you would be where you're at right now?
Oh no, dude. I did not know. At the time, I was just trying to stay alive. Dude.
Exciting or terrifying?
I was just rolling with it.
You're just like, yeah.
It was the scariest time of my life.
Yeah, so
dude.
Terrifying. Yeah,
I didn't have nobody or nothing. It was depressing and sad, bro.
Yeah.
I'm serious, but you know what? I was able to make a lot of art that expressed that at the time,
good.
and it was like it was cathartic, dude. It was like letting out all that stuff, healing, man.
Good.
Like, it was so good for me at that time to have that outlet, and like, yeah. But yeah, music it's been just great for me. It kind of depends what mood I'm feeling too.
Cool. And that's the genres too. I feel like you can just like art, there's something different for a different mood, to pull you into a different vibe, or to lift you up, or when you're kind of going through a painful spot, to get some, like what you were listening to when you were kind of going through that tough spot. And that's kind of what your art has been for me. And I had no idea, like that was the first art show that you actually did since you've been here. Like an actual viewing
I had
of
a
like
show of my little sketchbooks. I had these little, before I painted, I had these little books that were like just about as big as your hands.
Okay.
And I drew in those while I was painting the murals, because that was all the time I really had time for, or all I really had time for.
Just little sketches.
Yeah, as much as I could do, but there's something about it that's so like shallow. It's not invested.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And the paintings are like serious. You're really sitting down doing something. You really invested, and so as I transition into the paintings, that's my first solo show like that with my paintings.
Wow.
Dude. And I sold almost half the paintings that night. It was intense. There was like families and grandmas.
There was
kids.
everybody,
Dude,
bro.
there was 300 to 400 people that night, dude.
Dude, it was
Was there people clamoring over the same painting?
They no, they were just checking everything out. They were just selling really quick, and we're
So
putting
like
a lot-
someone's like, I want this now because I don't want someone behind me to be like, I want it, you know, and it was stuff was just
they were
selling right away.
snagging them. Yeah,
I can see that.
It was really cool to see you just kind of being tied up with all the people that were so excited to meet you too.
I was so, dude. I am so appreciative of that stuff, dude. When people come to see my art, it's like, dang, like thank you so much, dude, for supporting me.
Mm-hmm.
Because it seems so pointless. Is sometimes you'd be surprised. It seems like there's like being an artist. There's no like I'm here. It's just continually growing and moving and learning, and there's no end.
Yeah.
And so when people support stuff like that, I'm so appreciative. Like they're there to like see my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like thank you. Like dope. Yo,
It's
like,
crazy because you're not like what Cody asked you. You're not out here like, oh, you know, I got like I know the murals are a little bit different, but when you're doing your paintings and stuff, you're not painting like, you know, oh, this one's gonna get me paid. Oh, I'm gonna do this so that way, you know, maybe it'll apply to this and someone will want to buy it. It's all genuine, and to have somebody connect with it when you were just doing it for you, that has to be such an amazing and multiple people seeing people show out like that. And I was just trying to say hi. I couldn't even say hi because
Bro, I seen you, dog. I was like, and then it's like I would be like, and then
Almost. And
yeah,
then,
and then you were gone. I was like, oh,
You know, 'cause
I feel bad.
I just wanted this opportunity. I think that this would be the most powerful opportunity to be able to hear your story, and to get you one-on-one, which is exactly why I do this podcast, because conversations these days with, you know, people just sitting on their phone while you're talking to them and nobody's really, you know, it just seems like it's so disconnected. And even if I would have got you for a minute, you know what I mean, it would have just been, it wouldn't have been as personal as this. And of course I wanted to just, you know, I was in such a moment, you know, like me knowing who you were, and then me being able to take my friends and say, hey, you guys got to see this. You got, you know, it's huge to me to find somebody doing something that's so amazing that I got to go out and I got to tell people about it. I got to get you on my podcast. I got to spread, you know, it's like when you hear a song and it just makes you feel some type of way where Cody, you haven't heard this? Oh, you got to listen, you know, kind of a thing. And I know that I like to connect the dots too, because a lot of people they'll know exactly who you are when they connect the art to the person. And when they follow you on Instagram, and then they can see the journey, you know, from where you started to where you're going,
they
man.
have no idea. When they see my stuff or me, they don't know that part. No, like almost nobody has seen that old part of my life.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You would not think.
Dude, when you fucking sat down here right now and started telling me about the shit in San Diego and stuff like that, I had no fucking clue that you had been through so much.
That's a crazy story.
And I just don't, I just have so much respect, because I don't really think that, you know, I don't know that I would have been able to get through that, you know, because I'm a pretty weak person. I just feel so lucky to have been able to dodge a lot of those bullets in drugs and stuff like that, because I'm such an addictive personality kind of person, you know, that I don't know if I ever would have got out.
A lot of people don't.
And
dude.
a lot of people don't, man. And it's a fucking
don't,
miracle.
Dude. Oh, yeah, dude. I'm a walking miracle, dude.
And
you can tell by the way you explain the story when you're just like, I don't know why the fuck, like I called the wrong number and got to Spokane. You can tell, like it's a miracle.
That is a fucking trip, man.
It's true.
And so, like, you know, I know this is personal and stuff, but like with your faith and stuff like that, is it just like a real personal thing, like with you and God, or do you go to church and stuff like that?
I go to church.
Yeah.
It was actually when I moved here into town. Some people from church, like, dude, I was coming off of drugs. I was like a wreck mentally. I just didn't get life. Like, from this little neighborhood where it's just all, you know, I was able to use my whole life and run to being in a city where I was like almost chasing success, but coming off of, the church was really nurturing for me. There were people that really were there for me when I needed it. You know what I
Very
mean?
accepting.
Yeah, and like would help if they could, if any in any way. Yeah, it just helped me stand on my own 2 feet, and now I got it. You know what I mean?
You're still connected with a lot of those people.
Yeah, they're gonna be friends for. I'm always thankful, dude, for those people. Those are bonds that you can't break. You know what I mean? Very healthy, good relationships and stuff, and so
Those are important.
You know, those are the things that aren't fucking hyped up in the media and shit.
Not at
man.
all.
That's not. Those are the things that aren't talked about, and the things that really are probably the most meaningful things in life. You know, are those personal relationships, dude. I'm glad. I'm happy that we're able to sit down right here, right now, bro, and be able to kind of deeply connect and get to know you, man. I appreciate you giving us your time and stuff, man.
I'm just happy to be here.
That's right, man.
I brought a couple things for you guys from a buddy of mine. I wanted to give one to you, Godffiti. It's a microgreen kit. He owns a company called Courage to Grow, and it's just like a little microgreen kit you throw in, grow your own microgreens in the windowsill there. Wanted to give one to you guys.
Oh, it's out on the windowsill?
Yeah, you just grow right in the windowsill. It's really cool because, you know, tons of nutrients and stuff, and it's just a cool little product he's putting out. So, yeah, I just wanted to make sure that you got one of those before we took off. So,
shout out to Courage to Grow, man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, people can find you on Instagram.
Yeah.
And is that probably the best place to kind of find you as far as like to be able to see your art online?
Yeah, that's I have the Godffiti website too, godffiti.com.
Oh, nice.
Damn.
That's what you meant when you snagged that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was I got that one too.
damn. Man.
Now that I think about it, like, yeah, that is shocking that nobody took that name. Because it's like
so
right there to graffiti.
Too easy.
Yeah.
Easy, you know.
Yeah, that's cool.
Dude, I appreciate you literally out here doing the Lord's work and making people happy.
Trying, brother. Thank you so much.
Of course, dude. And we're gonna do it again, hopefully.
Yeah.
And,
Cheers, boys.
Yes.
Let's get a bottle. I know you have
What
your
is this?
water. What? That's a little bit of that Crown and Whiskey Coke. You don't want it?
Is there gluten in there?
No, there's no gluten.
No.
Gluten.
No, there we go. Cheers. One for you, too.
All right, guys.
All right, sweet.
All right, Godffiti and Perfect Cody, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. We're out of here.
Peace.
Yo, I'm just happy to be here.